All right, let's check this out.
Asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about.
That's okay. You can just say yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
All right, guys, what y'all just saw there was a meeting between Trump and Mundani, the new mayor of New York, the Democratic-Socialist of New York. And he was asked if he thought Trump was a fascist. And before he could even answer, Trump just like, let me just cut you off because I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to create some tension. Let me go ahead and get in here and explain and just say yes. Took the wind right out of the sails of the press, who was waiting for some sort of conflict to happen from that question. Good on him for handling it, for taking one for the team, for not allowing the press to take the narrative. But I want to concentrate right now on Mumdani and how I know that this guy is just a feminism plant, whose sole mission is to feminize New York. You guys have been hearing about this mass feminization of everything, and now we have to look at these candidates from that point of view. Are these people actual candidates, or are they just agents of the feminazi here to, again, further feminize a state, an area, what have you? And this is how I know that this is what Mundani does. First off, let's talk about his policies. They're all very matriarchal. We're going to take care of you, your transportation. We're going to house you. We're going to feed you. These are not things that politicians normally, especially mayors, normally promise. I don't care how big your city is. Most mayors don't go around promising to end world hunger. I mean, there's only a limited scope of what a mayor can do. And when they try to push outside that scope, it often leads to catastrophe for them. And a lot of disappointment when they come up against people like the governor, the president. You know, this is not something a mayor on his own can enact. But I think feminism is just happy to have a voice out there pushing the narrative that government is your caretaker, because that's what these folks want. They want total dependency on the government so that they can take it over. And he's a perfect representation of that. And the article here that we're looking at, Mundani stands by fascist claim despite a productive meeting with Trump. Now, most men are able to have their differences and then move on. You know, that's just a male psychology. We don't like to let things fester and linger because that doesn't solve anything. All it does is drain everybody emotionally. But the feminists in this case, the feminazi, see that as a big problem. And you could see, and this is getting to the point of my video today, you can see this guy obviously had to go back to his feminazi handlers and apologize and explain that, no, I'm still on the team. I just had to do this for the cameras. Let's take a look at this article and point out a couple of parts in it that I think explain the point. So it says, in an interview on NBC's Meet the Press, which was today, he was asked by Kristen Welker if he still believes the president is a fascist. She goes on to point out that he was just about to answer when Trump, as you saw, when Trump just said, go ahead and say yes. It's simpler than trying to explain it, because after all, what is a fascist besides just a scary word designed by the feminists to get people riled up and excited about something? You know, no one can even really say what a fascist is. You ask 5 people, you'll get 5 different definitions, because the left love to label things and then have you interpret through your emotions what that is. And scary words are a quick way to jump right into it. He says, so, Mr. Mayor-elect, just to be very clear, do you think the president is a fascist? And after President Trump said that, I said, yes, Mondani said, there's something that I've said in the past and I say it today. You know, to insult a man right into his face, Trump's bigger than me, because rather than use it as a point of conflict, Trump, you know, absorbs the impact, which I think is a much better strategy. Don't get me wrong. I think Trump knows exactly who he's dealing with. He didn't get to become president of the United States twice by not being able to read the room. So we all know, us on the right, we all know what Trump was intending by this meeting. It was an olive branch. It was to show the left what diplomacy actually looks like. You know, when the left are upset with people, they don't meet with them, they don't talk to them, they go on TV and blast them, but refuse to sit down in a room with them And I think Mondani would have been the same way if he didn't need Trump so bad. If he didn't need Trump as bad as he does, I don't think there's any way Mondani would be meeting with Trump. But again, that's the false promise of socialism, is that you can make things materialize out of thin air. You can destroy the establishment. You could destroy the wealth building apparatus, but somehow the people are going to still be there to support you and fund whatever pipe dream you have. So now once he's back in safe quarters on NBC, he's back to his old rhetoric. And he says here, what I appreciated about the conversation that I had with the president was that we were not shy about the places of disagreement, about the politics that's brought us to this moment. And we also wanted to focus on what it could look like to deliver on a shared analysis of an affordability crisis in New York. Now, I think Trump was, again, brilliant to take this meeting, because lately the media has been, they've been touting this new buzzword, affordability. The Republicans, the conservatives in government understand that if you want affordability, you got to keep the government out of your business. The more government intertwines with things that entrepreneurs in the private sector are trying to do, the more red tape, the more you blow up and balloon cost. So Mondani's theories on their face are unrealistic. I mean, you're going to provide free buses, but you're not going to charge anyone. You're just going to raise taxes. You're going to do it through basically legal theft. It's still not free. You've just shifted the cost over to someone else and hide them, which is what's blowing up on the Democrats right now with Obamacare. That thing is trillions of dollars when it was promised to be less than $1 trillion, which already on its face is ginormous. But the Democrats are now dealing with 3-4 times that amount and trying to hide the numbers and just shovel money to the insurance companies and hope nobody notices. This is the Democrat strategy for all of their policies, is just shifting money around and using, snake oil salesmen like Mondani to placate the people and make them think everything is free. And I'm sure Trump fully aware of that. I mean, he must have been gripping his cheeks so tight to sit through that meeting and try to pretend that he and this guy find some area of agreement, which I'm sure there are some, but on the basic understanding that you can't save people money and you actually jeopardize them when you set up everything for government dependency. You guys saw what happened with the shutdown. There were no more than 2 weeks in where people were panicking about going hungry. That little bit exposed socialism for what it actually is, was just a Ponzi scheme. And when all the people come back for their money, you don't have it there, and now you're exposed. The media did a great job of focusing everybody on getting the government going again, but I fear we still have the same underlying issues. And in January 30th, when we're back at this again, it's who's to say that we don't shut down again? Because again, the underlying issues were never solved. Everything was just swept under the rug so that we could continue on with the socialist Ponzi schemes that were going on before the government shut down. So to end out this interview, Mondani was also asked if he still believes Trump is a threat to democracy. And here's where he kind of soft pedals. He says, everything I've said in the past, I continue to believe. And that's the thing that I think is important in our politics, is that we don't shy away from where we have disagreements, but we have understandings what it is that brings us to the table. He's going in with still some of his manhood still intact. I don't think this is going to last. I think once he gets more and more heat from the left, these sorts of neutral positions, this patriarchal concept that he just explained, that, hey, we talk about what we believe, we express our values, we have disagreements, and then we move on. That ain't gonna fly in the feminazi. He's gonna have to learn how to shut people out, close people down, but he's gonna be in a tough position because he really does need Trump, and Trump knows that. Trump is just waiting for him to come calling so that he can then let him know what's really going on. Now it ends by saying, because I'm not coming into the Oval Office to make a point or make a stand, I'm coming there to deliver for New Yorkers. The question is, what is he coming to deliver? Also, the question becomes, how much of our taxpayer money has to go to prop up Mondani? Because the more we get more entrenched in socialism, This doesn't just become a New York issue. Our taxpayer money goes now to support what is already a huge budget. I mean, their budget is, I think, plus $100 billion in New York, and they still can't get their act together. And now he's out in Washington trying to set up an even bigger pipeline. The question is, will Trump go for that? Because he needs to make some ground, some inroads with the general voting public, or does he stand on business and let this guy know that this socialism thing is just a big hustle, like he's doing pretty much with Obamacare, and let him know that I'm not going to keep throwing more good money after bad in order to make you look good in the press. And I think that's what Mondani ultimately came there to achieve, to get a pipeline going, a backup in case the governor, Hochul, or whoever he has to first ask for money turns him down. He's trying to get in a commitment from Trump that I got a backup source of capital in case she wants to play hardball. Well, that's what I got on this video, guys. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. I just wanted to sit you guys down for a second and explain to you that, though we may be in a post-woke era, we're definitely further into the feminist era, because feminism is taking over everything, and we're going to explore that more as the days and weeks go by. But that's all I got on this one, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and if you like this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.